What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama 2. Alright, first things first, I'm just going to give you all my overall thoughts. So basically, I had a decent time with this movie. I actually liked it. There was a lot of fun elements. It wasn't, the bomb.com. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen. It didn't knock my socks off, but for what it was, it's a newer full moon movie, sequel. It's a sequel to a movie that came out about like 35 years ago, so it could have been way worse, and I had some fun with it. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts. Now I'm going to give you all a little plot summary. So, you have these girls, they're pledging a sorority. These guys are spying on them once again. They catch the guys, and the sorority sisters that are already, in the sorority tell the pledges and these guys to go to the bowling alley and find a trophy again. Once they're there, they find the imp again, but this time it's not the original one, it's the son of the original one. And much like the first movie, they ask him for wishes. The wishes don't turn out, and a lot of situations ensue. So that's the basic plot. Now I'm gonna jump right into my likes here. So my first like is that it's directed by Brink Stevens, which she was in the first movie. She's in a ton of horror movies. It's pretty darn cool that she directed it. She actually makes a cameo as well, and so does the girl from the first one who was in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, and they're like these ghosts. One instance that I liked was the girl from Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. She makes a joke about, she's like, man, what's up with my hair? It's so flat, because like in the 80s they had like the hair sprayed up, done up hair, and then now she's got a more modern haircut, so she was kind of poking fun at herself a little bit there. So I thought that was cool. Another one of my likes is that in the opening credits, it's the same music from the first one, and I mean that music is the bomb.com, really good, super catchy. So that was cool. The motivation for these pledges to join the sorority is, I don't know if this is the motivation for both of them, because I think the one was like, well, it's good, I can make friends, and it might create job opportunities for me. But the one chick's like, I'm just doing this to get free drinks. You know how many free drinks I'm going to get at all these sorority parties? So, I mean, I think that was a fantastic motivation to join the sorority. I can really get behind that. I'm all about that. So that was super cool. So in the first one, the guys are spying on the girls when they're getting hazed, and they're in their underwear. In this one, they have a callback to that, but they kind of change it up a little bit, and it has a modern twist. So instead of them just peeking through a window at the girls, these guys put a bunch of hidden cameras all over their room, and they're like outside with an iPad looking at the girl, and like one of the girls is in the shower, and it's all blurred, you don't see anything. But I thought that was a pretty darn good callback, and I like how they recreated the scene, and it was the same basic premise, but they added a nice little modern twist. So I thought that was creative. That was awesome. And another callback is to the hazing scene when they're getting like paddled and they're getting sprayed with the whipped cream. In this one, they're like pulling out the paddle and they're like they ask them nicely first. They're like, "Can we paddle you?" And they're like, I don't know about that. It sounds painful." And then they pull out like a giant whip. They're like, "What about this?" And they're like, I don't know." But then they do get a little whipped cream action going on, and that's kind of like the fact that they don't get physically hazed kind of makes sense because this movie came out in 2022, and nowadays I'm pretty darn sure there's laws against hazing, so it was kind of once again a fun little modern twist on a scene from the original. Let me see here. Okay, another one of my likes. I keep smacking my lips. Sorry about that. I gotta work on that. Sometimes I like rewatch these videos after before I upload it. I'm like, man, what? I'm saying like a million times, or I'm smacking my lips. I gotta work on that. So yeah, I like that they instantly turn on the lights because in the last movie it was super dark and I was just thinking the entire time like, why don't these fools flip on a light switch? And when they walk in, immediately one of the guys flips on the lights, and the lighting in this was better overall, and it was still mostly, in the dark in the bowling alley, but the lighting was on point in this. Another thing that I liked was there's a lot of actual bowling, and while they're bowling, they're turning up. All the girls and guys are kind of vibing with each other. They're sipping some beers, having a great time. The first one did have a little bit of bowling, like some of the really good kills were bowling related, but I feel like this one had even more bowling, and the title is Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama, so I feel like I was expecting more bowling in the first one. This one I feel like had more bowling, and it was fun. All the dudes and the chicks were vibing. Like I said, they're kind of feeling each other, getting together. So that was cool. Good chemistry going on. Okay, the last thing I wrote for my likes is that so when the imp comes through and starts granting people wishes, the repercussions for people's wishes, like when the wishes turn sour, they were way more creative in this. One guy, he's like, I want to be a famous rapper, and he gets turned into a candy wrapper and eaten. And this one guy, he's like, I want cash out the ass, and he just, I mean, he does get what he wishes for if you can, if you are picking up what I'm putting down. I don't want to explain it. I don't want to get graphic here, but he does get cash out the ass, literally. So yeah, this one girl, she gets she's like, I want the man of my dreams, and she gets this man of her dreams, and she's like, I forgot how she worded it, but one thing led to another, and she got fused with the guy, and she turned into this like half man, half girl creature, but she was like really gross looking. She had all crazy practical makeup going on. So I feel like when the wishes turned sour in this one, it was super creative and slightly better than the first one, because in that regard, because in the first one it's like, okay, I wished for gold and it's just not gold. Oh, I wished to be prom queen and I wished for this prom dress, and then the dress gets all tattered. This one, I feel like the imp is like way more evil, where the wishes turn out way more sinister. One chick, she's like, I want to live forever, and she gets killed accidentally, and she pretty much turns into a zombie. I thought all of that was super creative, really good. So that's all I have for my likes. Now I'm going to jump into my dislikes. The imp in this looks way worse. It's still a puppet. It's not CGI, but yeah, the puppet looks just a million times worse in this one. Another dislike that I had was there was a lot of bad CGI. Not all of the CGI was bad, but some of the CGI did look really, really, really cheap. There was quite a bit of practical effects too, and for the most part, the practical stuff looked alright, but yeah, some of the CGI was just looked, it just looked pretty darn cheap. Like you could just get like anyone with an editing software could like do the same stuff. I know in actuality, they probably spent a lot of money on it. I'm just saying that's what it looked like, and I'm not hating. I just had to come up with a couple dislikes. Like I said, if I wouldn't even be credible if if I was just like out here just praising every movie and it's like every movie's perfect, I love it. Like I said, I did like this movie. I had a fun time with it, and I had way more likes than dislikes. So there you go. But yeah, the CGI was not the best. Another dislike was that the ending was pretty dumb. In this one, they didn't have to, well, they did trap him in a container, but that wasn't the only thing they had to do. They randomly found out that if they found out his name and said it, then he would get trapped in this little vase. And I don't know, they just like came to that conclusion like at the very end. Like it was just like a spur of the moment thing. They're like, oh, we have to say his name, and it was just came out of the blue, and I just thought that was kind of dumb. But I mean, it is a silly movie. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to rip it apart. The whole movie was silly, but I don't know if they would have just done the same thing as in the first one where they just trapped him, but like he put up more of a struggle in this one, I would have liked that better. And getting on to my last dislike here, so there's like a lot of romances between the different characters, but there's this like bad girl chick, and then there's this one dude. I wouldn't even say, he's not like a good guy like the guy in the first one. He's just kind of there. I mean, he's cool, but I don't know. I didn't. The characters, they're not like really fleshed out. I mean, they don't need to be for this type of movie. But anyways, he's just some guy, and he like confesses his love to this chick, and they just met. He didn't say like I love you, but he's like, I was gonna wish to be with you, but then I knew you wouldn't really like me, and then I couldn't really love you forever or something. I'm just paraphrasing. He said something like that, but it's like, just like take it easy, just say like, hey, I like you and stuff, but like I want to love you forever. Like you all just met, and that whole romance just kind of came out of the blue. Like they were vibing throughout the movie, but then like he just hit her with the like I want to love you forever. It's like too soon for that one. Just maybe like go on a couple dates first or something. I don't know. All right, so that's all I have for my dislikes. Now I'm about to jump right into my WTF moments. All right, so the shower scene where they're spying on the girls is blurred, but then the same chick that where her chest is blurred for the shower scene, like later in the movie she's wearing this see-through bra where you can like see everything. So I don't know why for that scene there was no nudity, but then she pretty much went topless later. That's what I'm like. I'm not a perv. I don't need nudity in the movies, but like I was just like when I saw that first scene, I was just under the assumption that there was no nudity. But then this chick, her chest is all blurred for that scene, where like that would be like an ideal nudity shot, and then later she's like pretty much nude. So I don't know. And then another WTF moment is pretty darn similar to that. So this other girl who's her friend, when the guys are spying on them in their room, looking at them through the iPad, she does not get topless. But then later in the movie, when she turns like half man, half woman, when she's got all like the nasty looking makeup on, then she gets topless. So that's what I'm saying. Like during the hazing scene, there was no nudity. During the shower scene when they're spying, there was no nudity. I feel like that would have been a better time. But then like, why was that blurred out earlier and then there was no nudity and then she gets topless later? But what I was thinking was, since it was the makeup, it could have definitely been another actress, you know, so it was probably like a body double situation where the first girl probably had like a no nudity clause, and then for when it was her all done up in makeup, it was probably a different actress. That's all I could think of. And like I said, I'm not, you know, I mean, in all the 80s horror movies, you know, I appreciate the nudity. I'm not gonna say like, hey, turn that off, get away from me, you know, it's cool, but like I don't need it. But I just thought it was weird that for like scenes where it would have been better, it wasn't there, and then the same actresses pretty much got nude later. It was just like inconsistent. I was just like confused. And then my last WTF moment is the kind of rough around the edges bad girl type girl. She picks up the money that came out of the dude's rear end, you know what I mean? So I was just like, damn, like I thought that was like, she was like stealing money earlier. I'm like, heck yeah, like I mean I wouldn't do that in real life, but you know, she's in the closed bowling alley. There's a couple $100 in the cash register. You know, why not? And yeah, I was just that was just a WTF moment, because I was just like, man, it's kind of gross that you're gonna pick that up. But I'm at the same time, it was like all $100 bills, you know. So, I mean, that's a tricky situation. I mean, yeah, it'd be hella gross, but you could go buy like a new laptop or something, like just wash your hands after. I don't know, you know. I mean, would I pick that up? I don't. I mean, it's like a handful would have been like $1,000. I mean, this is gonna sound pretty gross, but I probably would have still picked it up. You know, you know you could get so much cool stuff with that. I mean, not that much. Not like it. I mean, 1,000 is a lot. It's not like crazy, but you could definitely treat yourself with that. So that was my last WTF moment. I got through all my notes here, so just to let you all know again, for a recommendation, I would recommend this. You know, don't go in it expecting it to be, you know, like something crazy. Don't expect it to be super engaging. If you're looking for a time waster, just something fun, silly to watch and kind of veg out to, it's definitely a fun time. Yeah, so basically I would recommend it, and I'm about to wrap things up here. So that has been my review. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.